No. Okay, welcome back to another episode. And so today is book 20, and Chris is still hailing from Hawaii, a beautiful place to be. And so Chris, give us what today's book is about.
Yeah, this book today. Yeah, well, first off, so coming to you live from Hawaii, and man, this place is just gorgeous. It's so hard to want to leave, but we got like another 5 days left here, so I'll enjoy the fun in the sun while I can. But yeah, the book today is Narconomics. I forget the author. True. Who's the author of this one?
The author is Tom
Wainwright. See my screen from here. Oh, Tom Wainwright. Yeah. So the author is Tom Wainwright, and the book is about. It's called Narconomics, and what this book is about how the narcotics trade, like marijuana, cocaine, opium, whatever, what have you, is really, when you break it down to its most core fundamentals, it's pretty much the same as any other business out there in the world. They have their own culture, they have their own standard operating procedures, they have their own business practices, they have their own, everything you think of in a normal traditional corporate world of what we preach of how to be, the best at what you can be. The drug trade really has it. They just do things a little bit differently, in particular. And the reflection of this particular book that, struck me was the concept of not doing it alone. And really where this, thought was spurned by this book is around how these cartels actually recruit people. I don't know about you, but I've always wondered, like, how does somebody become like an expert in like trafficking drugs and making drugs and processing drugs and distributing drugs? Like, I just don't understand, like, where you even learn these kind of activities and these kind of, skills and behaviors to become these, like, crazy world-renowned, business gurus of drug trafficking, So one of the things that struck me in this book was when the author started talking about how prisons are really used as almost like their de facto colleges and training centers, so people get thrown into prison and then all of a sudden, they have time to immerse themselves with other people that can share this knowledge and can help train them and coach them. It's no different than the way that I like to think of it, like my college and, time in college and business school and whatever else, or training for particular, work programs or whatever it may be that we do in the normal traditional business world. But, in this particular world, they can't really do that, but this is how they do it. So it kind of just blew my mind. I don't know why I never thought of it, but like, I don't know, Drew, like, did you ever think of, like, like prisons being used as like drug university and, like, criminal activity university world? Is that kind of like, did you ever think about that before?
Not that particular, but I thought there was some kind of an underground tribe that, when you want to go into these dark, I guess economy, you basically, like, you go to a portal of some sort. That's what I originally thought. You know how you go to the back alley of some building and you knock on the door with some secret password because you found a friend on the street that said, hey, I need to be able to talk to somebody who knows this and that, and then they tell you the secret knock, and then you go there. So that's how I imagine it.
right. No, honestly, that's how I did too. But, like, I didn't even know why we would start to go find that secret door and secret knock somewhere, which is kind of like the funny, I bet a lot of people say that when they think about, like, hey, Drew, if I want to be a coder, if I want to be a, computer programmer, like, how do I even start on this? And you're going to be like, well, you got to go here, like, do all these steps. Like, you could explain that to them, and I could explain to somebody how you can get a job at, like, a Salesforce or a company like that, but it's not easy, I mean, it takes a lot of time and a lot of, training and preparation and meeting the right networks, and you know what I mean? Like, it's just really funny that, like, when you break down the drug trade, like, I mean, they do the same stuff. It's just done in a different way, in a different, in their own little culture. Well, the reflection itself, though, made me think about, one of my own core values in life is to to never do it alone. And it's become an important part of my life, and an important reminder to myself to always, like, life is about, we're humans. Like, we care about each other. We want to spend time with each other. We want to make things, meaningful relationships are just as important as meaningful work in this world. And, we can't do anything alone. Like there's nothing that can be accomplished that's great in this world that can be done by ourselves. And that's honestly why you and I do this stuff every single night. You know, this is why we're trying to build this thing together, build a culture together, and to make sure that we're forming meaningful relationships and you know, doing what we can to, you know, to try to never do it alone, because it's no fun by yourself, you know. So I don't know why this book made me think of that, but at the end of the day it did, and I'm happy that I read it. It was an interesting book. I'm not going to say that I would highly recommend it, but you know, it was interesting. Yeah, anyway, I'd love to get your thoughts.
Yeah, so you know, I think it's kind of surprising to me that it's a book about how to run a drug cartel.
Right. Well, he did
Right.
it like as a business, you know, like he was like, if I was just thinking of it like supply chain and distribution,
Well,
and, if I'm
if I want to get into the drug trade, then you know, I'm looking for information. I ask people. I go to the library, ask, you know, how do you smuggle drugs from one place to the next, and then that's how I naturally. And you know, I mean, I normally wouldn't think there is a book that's on a library shelf, but probably in some kind of secret, you know, corner of the library where you can find it. That's where I would look for. These are the secrets, basically the secret stash. You know, I just didn't know that, you know, this book is, you know, out in the open like that. But certainly, it's a whole new world. It's a whole other world that we don't, you know, often get exposed to. But I think it's interesting that you know, even in the world that we don't belong in, they behave the same way we do. Because to me, meaningful relationship, meaningful work, it's not two separate things. Because you can't have meaningful work at all without meaningful relationship. And to think about it, if you did something great, what do you do? What the first thing you do when you do something great?
You help to share with other people, honestly. Like,
you celebrate with other people.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, if you say, hey, you know, I make $1 billion, but you can't tell anyone.
Yeah.
How would you feel about that?
Awful, honestly. Like,
it's
I mean,
awful.
What's the point? You know, like, I mean, it's if you're like, we're people, we have to connect with each other. You know, like it's really funny that, you know, I even just like further thinking about the whole drug cartel, like, you know, we spend so much money policing it and fighting it and fighting war on drugs and yada yada yada. Like, really, if you just figure out a way to break those meaningful relationships, like, you could probably break it all up, because they won't care anymore. Like, you know, nobody wants to sell drugs. You don't do drugs with yourself. Like, you do it with other people. Like, figure out how to break that chain of meaningful relationships around the economy, and it'll all fall apart, right? Like, you don't have anybody to do it with.
And also, they use a prison as a you know, de facto university, is because, you know, that's where the people with the same mindset are gathered. Right. So how do you connect with a person if you don't have the same thoughts and values as them? Because if so you and I, because we're not in a drug cartel, we probably won't fit in the prison, because, you know, they won't be able to connect with us and relate to us, and we can relate to them. But for them, you know, they can find other people and say, well, you know, I know how you think, and you know how I think. So it's you know, you got to find the people that think like you, has some common share values that you do, and to create that connections, and creating a connection that makes them want to do these things. And just because they have the same values, they continue to thrive and expand as the other world, as I call it. But to me, that's a key. That's a key, is to not do it alone, because you can't do it alone. And if anyone say that you can, they probably fooling themselves. And, you know, it's one of those things where it's unfortunate that people don't realize that until, you know, much after. So you waste a lot of time thinking that, you know, I'm by myself, and you know, you kind of like you miss all the opportunities you have with, you know, connecting with other people. Because connecting with other people and understanding them, and them understanding you, that makes life worth living, worth doing things with.
Agreed. I mean, I can tell you without a doubt, we would not be doing this every single night if you weren't doing this with me. I tried to actually record a few of these videos by myself to go through this reflection. Like the whole point of Your Magical Learning for me is to share with other people, as many people as I possibly can. And it's been, and to do this with you makes it even that much more meaningful, which is why it's been so easy for us to just kind of pick up and start doing these things, because it's fun to talk about this stuff. It's fun to share. It's fun to build a culture around it. It's fun to build, share values with each other. Like, that's just fun. Like, it's just fun to do with somebody. Like, I mean, and that's an important part of life. And whether you apply that to the drug world or you apply it to, trying to help other people live meaningful work, find meaningful work and meaningful relationships, it's all the same, I guess, when you break it down.
Yeah, I think that's a fundamental need. I mean, as far as emotions and human psychology is concerned. I mean, if that's why we exist. That's why we live, is to connect, and that's the reason why we thrive as a species. Just because it's not based on strength or speed or some other factors. It's based on how much are you connecting to with one another. Because for us, our connections is pretty large compared to maybe even a pack of wolf, right? You're talking about 10, 20, but we have even larger, much larger tribe. That's why we, as this species, is supreme. Not because we're faster or we stronger or we more flexible or whatever the case. We are better because of our collective relationships.
Couldn't agree more. Yeah, well, so I can't see the question. What's the
question is, which people in your life were key to teaching you your craft?
What's the answer to your question? I'm curious, actually. If you had to sum up, who helped you to learn what you're a master at, who is that?
It's a bunch of different things, but I think collectively it's the people around me, whether that's my parents, my relatives, when I was growing up. That's where people I learn from. I remember when I was younger, I run after my brothers, right? They're older, they do something, and I run after them. I learn from them, and eventually I have my own friends, and I would connect with them. So I'm like a monkey, trying to swing from tree to tree, and that's, to me, that's make me who I am as this collective person. But like I said, nothing I've done is because I just one day think of it myself. It's I saw someone done it, and I've learned have taken it, copy it like a meme, and then pass it on to other people. So I become the chain. I connect to the other, the node, and then I would actually allow other people to connect to me, and so I become that link in that chain throughout my life. And just like you and me now, you and I kind of met through the internet by searching for common values, and then now you and I you much influence me in what I do as well. And so you become a key just because I've found some core values and common belief that you and I share. And so for me, like I said, back in the past, other people, now it's you and other people around me as well. So like I say, it's not just one key person. And sometimes there is one key person, but for me, it's a multiple people that through my life I have come across, and I'm grateful for these people.
Love it. Fantastic. All right, well, I'm gonna go back to the beach and go have some fun with the little kiddo. He's been having a blast, man, on the beach. Like, it's been really cool. I'll just send you some pictures once we get back, because it's I'll share them with you, I guess, when we get back here. But it's been a ton of fun. He's been having a blast. So
I'm glad to hear that.
Enjoy some fun in the sun. Have a good day down in Houston.
Yeah. Well, you guys enjoy the rest of the day and the rest of your vacation. We meet tomorrow. Great. If not, enjoy what you can.
We'll figure it out. This is living your values, right? So we'll figure it out. We got this. All right. Talk to you tomorrow.
Sounds. Bye.
See ya.